Hello VC, this is Greg from Three Dimensions Music. I wanted to make a video. I'm pretty excited about a vinyl find that my wife found at Goodwill. She went out with my daughter last weekend and called me up. It's always nice when they get to go out together and look at Goodwill, because I get to crank the stereo up a little louder and nobody's home to complain. My buddy here, Prosser, he doesn't complain much. He kind of lays there and snores. The records that she found, about 14 of them. Goodwill's a store that is like a charity place that some people, if you're not familiar with Goodwill, most are by the name. A lot of people donate stuff to be resold so that they can raise money for charity to help younger people and other people to advance in life and learn new skills. Worthy cause. The albums that she picked up. Now my wife Brenda, I was doing a video the other day, and Steve Bender, the Zonk Man, that's his tag, is Steve Bender, real nice guy out of North Carolina. He saw this pillow sitting behind me on the wall, and I've done this a couple times. I'm hoping I'm holding this up in the right spot, but he wanted to know what it said on this pillow, and it says, "Music is my first love." This was a pillow that my wife found for me. She thought it kind of went real well with me, because music, I guess, is my first love. Even though she's my my best friend and my love for 40 years, she knows music is a big important thing in my life. Always has been. A little bit of historical proof. That's a picture when I came over from the service. Had a nice little stereo system back then. Still had my albums. Still been carrying them for, what, 50 years. Anyways, what she found for me, she said on the phone, I said, give me a couple names, because you know when you go into Goodwill, most of the albums are albums that need rescued. Usually they're not very good. Not a lot. Most of them. I've probably been in and out of Goodwill for 20, 30 years. I count on one hand where you're there at the right time to catch somebody dropping off a collection. And what's always exciting, I know when you guys go out and looking for albums, what excites me is you find a stack of records, and it's almost like they pulled them from your cubes. You know, there's the taste that they have and the holes that they fill, and if they're in really good shape. And Goodwill, where I live, is 79 cents for a record still. So these records that she found were in very good condition, covers and records. I've cleaned them once with the spin clean. They got to go through the Yoki Noki next. I still don't have a bubble bath for them like they have the. I'm waiting for them to come down in price. I want to get the cavitation machines, but I'm still holding off on it because of the expense. Anyways, this one here she got, which I have in my collection. Chris Squire, Fish Out of Water. He's a bassist, played with Yes. Most are familiar with this fella if you know Yes, the band Yes. He has since passed. This was his solo album, Fish Out of Water. Really good shape. So this was in my collection. So I'm saving this for a friend out in the east of me, a stack of records, and I'm hoping that if he wants them, you know, we'll see if he wants them or not. Another one is John Anderson, Elias of Sun Hilla, another solo effort. This is just the same condition as what I have. These are in really nice shape. Still has a little booklet inside. Really nice graphics. Kind of spacey. Real nice, easy going. He's got a beautiful voice. This was in his heyday when his voice was beautiful. Still is, but back then, you know. Next, I have a lot of this fellow in my collection. Pat Metheny, jazz guitarist, Lau Mays, Dan Gottlieb on drums. This one here is called American Garage. And I did have one extra that I got, was Off Ramp, which is in good shape, and I sent it to a friend just the other day as VCLT. I hope he enjoys it. I really like Pat Metheny, American Garage. This is on the ECM label. You guys familiar with ECM? Very nice label. Nice Whisper Quiet Records. This one's in really good shape. I was very surprised. So this person, whoever he was, I'm assuming it's all the same person because of the way they were grouped together. This is another one that I had in my collection. Philip Church, jazz guitarist. Really nice jazz guitarist. I like him a lot. I believe this one's on ABC. No, this is on Marlin. The Marlin label. Okay. And I do re-sleeve these with the polyline sleeves that I keep because I do everything else in the MoFi sleeves, but I do keep the unusual inserts to keep with the record. Okay, put that away. Okay, these are ones I don't have. If anyone wants to leave a comment on my video of what they think of these groups, this one's called McKenna Spring. I believe it's a Scottish prog-rock, prog-folk group on Decca. McKenna Spring. I'm anxious to listen to that. I haven't listened to any of these because I have to run into another cleaning before I put them on the turntable. Next, String-Driven Thing, The Machine That Cried. String-Driven Thing, The Machine That Cried. Never seen these before out in the wild. These guys, I believe they're a progressive rock from out of England. I believe, or are they from New York? I think they're from England. Yeah, it's on the Charisma label. Yeah, IBC Studios in London, so definitely out of England. Spring-Driven Thing. On the Charisma label. I'm very familiar with the Charisma label because that's where you get Genesis. So you kind of get a hint of the label of what might be forthcoming. String-Driven Thing. Next, I've seen this shown on VC channels before. I think Randy, friend of Rachel's, showed it. I believe Merge the Litter. See if I can get this up where I can see it here. Wasn't familiar with this. I think it's progressive rock, fuzzy type of rock. It is. Let's see. Merge the Litter is the name of the group. And it's on ABC Probe, which is an unusual label I haven't seen. But I believe this is, most of these records are from 67 to 69 to 70, 74. So they're pretty old. And they're in really good shape. Whoever had them took relatively good care of them. The band If, another British band, I believe. I've got a lot of new British friends that subscribe to me, which was very heartwarming. Spent 2 years in England. Met a lot of nice people over there. Wonderful people, the English, definitely. Capitol Records. The band If you know anything about them. If you know anything about them, let me know. Next one I was kind of familiar with the name. Dominic Troiano. He played with the James Gang. And I have quite a bit of James Gang because of Joe Walsh. But Dominic Troiano was also in the James Gang, but this is a solo effort on the old Mercury label. An older Mercury label anyways. Okay. Next, I'm definitely familiar with this guy. I was pleased to see this in the group, Jack Bruce. I have one others of his solo efforts. Jack Bruce. I keep holding the record in the wrong spot, I think. RSO Records. Out of the Storm. I understand this was one of his better ones. Can't wait to listen to that. Jack Bruce from Cream. And this was right after he was playing with Why Don't Ya? That album there, which I have in a collection. This one here I'm not familiar with. I've heard her name before. Kate Bush. You guys can let me know what you think about Kate Bush. I may or may not care for her. I'm not sure. I'm not big on female musicians, unfortunately. I'm just more musical instruments oriented than singing, but I do have a lot of Joni Mitchell and a few others, Janis Joplin, but it's the entirety of the band and the songs that kind of attract me. Joni Mitchell definitely travels with a lot of great musicians. Steve Winwood, I have some Steve Winwood in my collection, but not this one. This was one of his solo efforts. And a little bit of, I believe, jazz, funk, and soul. Clarence Carter, Testifying. I believe this fellow's out of Alabama. And this is on Atlantic. And he's got quite a few albums out. Been around a long time. So I'm anxious to listen to Clarence Carter. Next is one of my favorites that are in my collection. Roy Ayers, Ubiquity. The band Ubiquity. This one is Change Up the Groove. Roy Ayers. He plays the vibes. Really nice sounding records. Nice tunes. Really laid back. Kind of psychedelic in a way. With vibes. A little funk and soul with vibes. And last was something unfamiliar to me. John Lee and Jerry Brown. And what was interesting was on Blue Note. And I believe these guys are jazz fusion maybe. So I'm looking forward to hearing that one too. These guys got quite a few records out too from what I've seen. But they're new to me. So that's the nice group of records that I got from Goodwill, which was great. I wanted to take a moment to do thank yous to a couple of new subscribers that I got over the past few weeks. I don't have a lot of subscribers, and every one I pick up I'm so grateful for. Vinyl Richie, I believe he's out in California. I've watched many of his videos. He's got a huge record collection. It's got to be huge. Just can't imagine how. I've got about 2,000 records. I think probably he's got 20,000 maybe. I'm not sure, but I know he loves a lot of punk, a lot of different types of music for sure. Vinyl Richie's been around a long time. Mr. Bizarro, interesting fella. Aaron, Static Traveler, Alan. I've enjoyed his videos lately. And Michigan Record Club, Bill. Thank you so much, Bill, for subscribing to me. Bill has a great collection of records. A lot of stuff that I like. A lot of prog, psych. Yeah, that fella's got a lot of great albums. Low Budget Vinyl Channel. I like that fella. He's interesting to listen to. Ron Haggerty, nice guy down in Florida. Got a wonderful family. Real nice, down to earth fella. More into Ron Haggerty's more into metal, but he's been opening up to a lot of different genres in the past five or 6 years that I've watched him. So he's really blossomed into a lot of different music, like we all do. And lastly, I have on my list Embryonic Robot, Brian. Interesting name for a channel. Maybe one day I'll have to explain where he picked that up at. But Static Traveler, Embryonic Robot. I love these names for these channels. Everybody, thanks so much for watching. I hope you watched it through. I hope you're as excited as I am. If you have any comments on these records, let me know. And I really appreciate you subscribing and hit the like button. And I'll sign off for now. Thanks, guys.